Fake news.
Mr. President.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Mr. President.
Fake
I just want to have one thing to say.
Fake news,
Mr.
no.
President, I'm
Very
trying to
fake
get a word in
news.
edgewise here.
Fake news put out
Mr.
by fake
President,
news.
it's
Fake
not...
news is trying to say good things
Mr. President, it's
about
not fake news just because you don't like it.
A few days ago, fake news called...
Enough! Each and every Tuesday, the Journey into Comics Network brings you the real news with the poor report, with the late-breaking news that really matters.
The following is a Journey into Comics Network production.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Journey into Comics, the podcast about everything nerd, with your hosts, Nate Phillips and Brandon Stone.
We've come a long way from the Prime Minister's exploding cake. Or have we?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Journey into Comics, episode 188. I am one of your hosts, Brando. Joining me here today, as always, the fantastic podfather himself, Nate Phillips. How you doing, sir?
Dude, I'm doing fantastic today on this lovely, it's lovely Monday for those of you who are getting us at launch day. Good morning. It's Monday. It's first day at work. Hope you guys have a good one. Be safe on the roads today, wherever you're traveling. Brando, I'm doing fantastic. I'm currently recovering from my birthday weekend, which was pretty fruitful for me.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday to you. The big old 3-1.
Yeah, it's my lucky number inverted.
Yeah, and so like 30 is like this sort of built-up number. It's when we're aging and we're going through our roaring 20s, if you will. When we get past the 20s are our first step, is obviously past our teens. We know we're out of high school, and then some of us go to college, or we get a job, or we start, exploring the world and what we can do in it. And now 30 hits, and you stop to go, oh yeah, I might want to get some of this responsibility thing down, because then I'm going to be 40 and be one of those losers I always hear about. It's like, yeah, here's here's Billy. He's 40 and still lives with his mom.
Yeah, for real.
We are such a limited lifespan species. It's like, what 40-year-old living at home is going to get a date? It's very difficult. Some of us are lucky. Some of us have found some really awesome partners earlier on, some earlier than most. But once you hit that 30, man, it's like, okay, I got to get really serious about thinking about what's the next step in my evolution. What's the next step in my family's evolution? I got to really actually start thinking towards retirement one day and think about getting that set up. 401k. Do I want to go Roth or not? The whole thing with, I'm paying this much, not barring any sort of major crisis with our country, Social Security may be gone by the time I'm there, so I need to think about dude. And then it's like, oh crap, if you're a homeowner, wow, I've got to take care of my house. Oh crap, my house is falling apart around me. Damn. Oh crap, I've got kids. I got to keep somebody alive for the next 15 years at least.
Man, you just went to a tangent of like all the dark spectrums of turning older. And I'm over here like, I'm pretty sure 31 is the new 20, so I'm doing spectacular today.
No, I'm not. No. There's nothing dark about what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, man, once you hit 30, is like, it's almost like a slap in the face, a wake-up call going, dude, you can still have some fun, but you better, like...
It's time to hustle.
You need to get serious about some of this shit, because next thing you know, you're going to be 40, and if you don't get your ass in gear by then you're going to be working harder, and your body's going to be aching more. Which, I don't know about you, Nate, but once I hit 30, I started experiencing more pain. It's like, what is this? And then, of course, I hit 30, and I can't stay up past 10:30 anymore. I get to that 10 o'clock, and I'm just like, yeah, I can go to bed right now.
Well, I mean, effectively, a couple children in my life do call me Old Nate, and, you think that's funny, and then you have a really terrible moment where you slip and fall in your kitchen and almost fucking break your leg, wake you up and be like, holy shit, I am old Nate. Like, I just fell for no reason. Like, I should fucking had life alert. What the fuck, you know? Like, luckily I was
hot coffee
not home
on
alone
myself.
I spilled it on my fucking self, bro. Like, I will seriously say this. I wish so sincerely I would have had my GoPro set up at the front door to see the chaos that was me falling so epically and losing it, because it had to have been magnificent. It was terrible when it happened, and I'm still, not feeling the best. But, moving away from that, dude, this birthday weekend was crazy. Like, what? First of all, I woke up for the first time in like 4 or 5 years in my home in Hoopston because I was visiting Dad. Got to see him. That was nice. I left there, picked V up. I came home, and I got to do something that most people don't get to do. I interviewed a guy I'm friends with who also happens to be the lead singer of Iced Earth.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty
that
fucking
episode
crazy.
went live on Friday on the good old 420s. And Stu Block, thank you so much for linking up with Nate and doing that interview. It was awesome to get to meet you the couple times that we did on tour, and so awesome of you to lend your time to us and get to let our listeners and some of our followers get to know you a little bit, and hopefully we are able to spread the mighty gospel of Iced Earth.
Goddamn right, man. So then as soon as the podcast was done, it was like, well, we're going to dinner. I did not know where we were driving. Spoiler alert, when I say where I'm driving, because I'm the driver, I'm the one that drives the car, so they did not tell me where I was going. I'll let you figure that one out. So they finally go, okay, head to Maryville, and I'm like, all right, cool. So we get together, and we go to Hibachi. And have you ever done like the teppanyaki hibachi before?
Oh, like the dude, like
he's like flipping the fucking shit and everything.
Flipping the stuff and doing all this stuff, and then he throws a knife, kills the dude next to him.
Yeah, he doesn't mean to. He's like, oh shit, that was not a part of the show.
No, like there's a little comedian bit where he's like, he don't work here no more. He's like,
but so we do this experience, man, and it was delicious and a blast overall. It was a lot of fun. We were seated with one other family, so it was the three of us and then one whole other family of people. So it was like the mom and the dad, the daughter, the daughter's kid, and then her husband, and then us. And these people were like great people. We made friends with them really quickly and stuff, and they were super nice and pleasant and talking food and shit and stuff like that. And overall that was a good experience. I got free carrot cake. That was delicious in and of itself. I had fucking Kobe beef, medium rare with scallops, with fucking noodles. Oh, the noodles were next level. So the next day, though, is 420. It's a holiday. For those of you who don't know, it's a holiday.
St. Fatty's Day.
It is St. Fatty's Day, and I had a relaxing St. Fatty's Day. We have Andrew Uhas up visiting. And we just got to kind of hang out with him and catch up and whatnot. Our bass player, Rob, came over after you and I had recorded a special for the Road to Infinity War, which Brandon, I'm pretty sure if we do this right, if we figure a way how to pull this off, Wednesday, the Infinity War road ends.
Yeah, roadblock.
Roadblock at the end of the road.
Thanos.
One mighty Thanos just like, hey, fuckers. I'm here,
The end.
I'm super, super fucking hyped on that movie, but we'll get there in a minute. Because I forgot something. After Hibachi, we leave Hibachi. And Sarah and V are like, hey, we need to go to Target to pick up some butter for the cake. Because they're going to make me a cake. Spoiler alert. They still have not made the cake.
Procrastination.
Well, it's actually just been a mixture of procrastination, and we've had so many other foods recently and been like, we went and took Uhas to the Albany Candies Factory Albany's Candy Factory. I said that totally wrong. I said the Albany Candies. Albany's Candy Factory, folks. Sorry. We went there and we got a lot of sweets, spent way too much money, but I digress. Anyways, we're at Target. And they get like food and stuff and whatnot, and like some toilet paper and paper towels and shit and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm going to walk through the toys because I'm trying to look for this 10-inch Thanos pop that's coming out that's a Target exclusive. So he's 10 inches, as big as the life-size Groot that I have. And I'm like, I'm going to walk over by the electronics and see what shit they've got there too, because maybe they got Blu-rays. I know they got Last Jedi. I might pick it up. So walk over there, and I immediately see Last Jedi. I start making a beeline, and I hear, "Hey, Nate, come back over here. It's Veronica." I'm like, okay. And she's talking to this dude in a red shirt, and I'm like, why is she talking to a Target guy? Is she going to drag me into a debate? Does this guy like podcasts? Like, where's this guy coming from? Is he about to stone cold stun me and like walk out of here or some shit?
I done said I don't listen to those damn podcasts. Stop trying to sell me on them.
And that's the bottom line. Anyways, so she's like, pick one out. And I was like, what? Pick out a what? Pick out a Switch. What? Excuse me? So, yeah. Long story short, gray Switch, got one. Decided to pick up Super Mario Odyssey and Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. I wanted to get Xenoverse on PS4, but it was only $30 on sale on the Switch, so I didn't know I was even getting a Switch. I thought, well, I need games for it, might as well,
Right on, man.
Plus, Dragon Ball stuff on Nintendo is always rare. Ends up being, Budokai Tenkaichi 3, rarer. Thank you.
Yeah, and you know what? That game's actually gone down. On the Wii.
Really?
Yeah. It's still not. It's not cheap, but it's not as expensive as it used to be. Nate, I've actually been playing the crap out of my Switch for the last 3 months, playing Skyrim.
Skyrim, hell yeah!
I in the last 4 days, I've probably had more playtime with Skyrim than I've had in the last 2 months of Skyrim, and I've been playing the crap out of it. And it's funny because I played it a few years ago on the 360, and then I got sidetracked. I was a late bloomer, a late comer to Skyrim. I was more of a Fallout guy. It takes a lot for me to get invested into a fantasy lore setting as far as a game goes, because there's so much just made-up crap in that damn game.
You have to learn constantly.
Yeah, you have to learn all this crap, and I still don't know shit. But I'm like, okay, I got a Switch. I'm going to get it for the Switch. And everyone's like, when it got announced for the Switch, people were like, I'm not buying that game for the 5th time. I'm like, hey, I'm only buying it for the 2nd. It's not that big of a deal, I guess. So, I got that. Of course, Skyrim on the Switch is awesome because it's handheld mode, dude. A game as big as that in your hands, like, okay, yeah, sure. It originally came out like 7 years ago.
So fucking what?
That game is massive. To just have that game in your hands, and I play it in handheld mode a lot. It's pretty comfy. It's not bad. I prefer it to play it with the Nate. If you're going to play it on your dock, save up some money and get a Pro Controller.
Oh, it's already in the plans, my brother.
Because that Pro Controller, don't get one of the cheaper ones. Don't get one of the Power A's.
I will never get licensed Nintendo. Come on now.
But, no, get the actual $70. It's way too expensive. But that controller is seriously one of the more comfortable controllers I've ever held. It's awesome. That's my preferred way to play it. Just sit back and relax, play. And now that I'm as far as I am into the game, and I'm learning more about what the hell's going on, because so much of that game, Nate, I don't know how much you played of it back then, it's just wandering around and killing people and finding stuff and getting over encumbered, and you can't run anymore, so you got to drop stuff or give it to your buddy and then wait to get home or sell it, because none of the merchants have enough money to sell all the crap I have, so I have to store it at my house. I was able to learn a cheat or a little thing to get a house for free, because you have to pay like $5,000 for it. But if the dude's standing next to a box, you can actually activate that line of dialogue, look down real quick, put all your money in the box, look back up before the whole thing is like actually registered. And when he goes to take your money, you ain't got no money. So then he just gives you the key to the house. So then I look back down, pick up all my money.
Holy shit, that's super smart.
And so like then I was able to spend that money on decorations on the damn house, and that way I could actually sleep in there. But then I just put all my stuff up, and going in there, it's like, I don't know why I picked up this pheasant breast. I have no idea. I'm gonna put it over here in this cabinet because pheasant breast will just stay good, unrefrigerated for 3 months.
It's the code, man. That code is flawless. Non-genetically modified code.
It must be. But anyway, I'm this far
Organic
into it.
Code.
I have explored so much of the place. I have 37 active quests right now.
Holy shit.
Because I just keep wandering around and going to new places.
And you're like, sure, I'll take that. Okay, sure, I'll do that too.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, dude, I'll help you out with that, man. Don't worry about it. Next time I'm out and I see a big, huge mammoth tusk and some troll fat, I'll bring it right back to you. And then I'm like on the other side of the map going, oh, yeah, I should probably head back there sometime. Some people just zoom back real quick with fast travel. I'm the kind of guy that just keeps wandering around until I get to oh, hey, look, there's a house. What's over here? And then I end up getting attacked by 3 bears and a couple wolves along the way. It's a fun game. And
I think the first time I played Skyrim, I got murdered by a giant or a fucking dragon in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, you are faced with a dragon and possibly a giant early on in the game, and good luck, because it's actually pretty. The dragon's not that hard, but giants are hard.
Yeah.
Once you learn your some of your shouts, it's easier. I had the ability to go back and finish my shout, the Fasruda shout, right, for hours. And I just kept doing other stuff, going over here, doing this. Finally, I'm like, you know what? I'm close by. I'm just gonna head up there real quick and tell him, hey, I got that done. And then he's like, oh yeah, now you're gonna learn the power of the Da, and I do all this stuff. And then I see, the thing about it is I always forget about it. I'm just so focused on the sword fighting and the playing that I'm always I always forget I have that ability. So here I am. I'm on top of this. I'm on top of whatever in this fort, and this dude, I have my shield up. He's actually hurting me pretty bad, and he's swinging this big heavy axe. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got that shout, and I held it down, and I did the Fasruda, and he went flying.
Holy shit!
Yeah, he did.
He gone.
All right. Yeah, dude, he gone. And what's funny is that it even works with the bigger animals, like the bears. They'll just send the bears flying and everything. It's hilarious.
Can I just say our viewers or our listeners can't see this, obviously, because we're a podcast, but I just witnessed something that happened that you didn't even know happened that was amazing timing. So you did that thing, and then you did the dramatic look away thing, like you were looking at his body flying into the distance.
Yeah.
But as you looked, my cat came to the door. And it was you looked right the fuck at her, but you weren't actually looking at her. Yeah, that was perfect again. That was crazy. And then as soon as you looked at her, she meowed once and ran away. It was fucking great.
That's funny. Yeah, dude, I'm loving my Switch. Of course, you got Super Mario Odyssey. I played to beat Odyssey. I haven't mastered it because you can play after you beat the story.
Dude, there's 800 moons.
Yeah, no, I don't have anywhere close to that. I just got sucked back into Skyrim, and I want to actually finish the game. I want to say, yes, I beat that game. So maybe one day I'll get back to Odyssey. Wyatt bugs me all the time to play it. Daddy play Mario? No, Daddy's not playing Mario. Daddy plays Skyrim. Yeah, Daddy playing Skyrim.
Oh, damn. Grooming him well, man. But no, man.
How do you like it so far? How do you like your Switch?
It's really cool, dude. It's weird because you think... Yeah. Before I had a Switch, my thought kept being you don't use it that many different ways. There's no way that you're going to use it all the different ways they give you as an option. And since I've had it, I have used it every way you probably can use it, aside from having the Pro Controller, which I don't yet have, because I've fucking had the Joy-Cons on the side of the thing on my possession. I've had the thing in the dock playing just with the Joy-Cons in my hand. I've had them in that little fake Pro Controller thing that they give you, the grip to make it like a Pro Controller. You know
what sucks? Okay, so to interject really quick, I got the Mario Odyssey bundle that has the red Joy-Cons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. I actually love the fact that I've got like a kind of a unique Joy-Con set for it. Well, anyway, they had a licensed Mario Odyssey grip, right? I'm like, oh, cool, that'll go great with my red Joy-Cons. But I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to pay the $15 for it. And one day we were at Walmart. It was marked down. It was like, oh, cool, it's like $10. Whatever. Happy Easter to myself, right? Get home, open it up, put them in there. The reds don't match.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, it's still red, but like
It's noticeable that they don't match.
yes,
It
is like a
as hell.
darker, a duller red than the red that's on the Joy-Cons.
Oh, shit, man. That's, No, it was crazy because I thought about going with the neon color, but I just thought classic matte black. I've got the black. I had the black Wii. I had the black Wii U. I thought just keep with the tradition. Have the black Switch.
You had a black Wii.
No, I still have a black Wii.
I just did the Nate laugh. Oh man,
You tricked me into saying.
this is how this is our level of maturity, guys. This is where we're at.
You tricked me into saying I have a black Wii, and now I see what you're saying.
It took you way too long. You're just a little slow on the draw there. You're like, well, I did have a black. Oh,
Well, yeah, because I was like, no, seriously though. Son of a bitch. You got me. You fucking got me. All right, Brando. Dude, I think it's time to start the show. Officially.
I think so too, man. We got some cool stuff to talk about. We got some Walking Dead talk to talk about. Of course, we've been discussing The Walking Dead since the start of the program, all the way back in like episode 1, 2, 3, or 4. The episodes I weren't on, that was talked about then too. Of course, we talked about the comic and the show. And so, of course, we had the big season finale of The Walking Dead proper, the original show. And on the same night, you had the Fear thing. I'm behind on Fear. I'm like two and a half seasons behind on Fear.
I'm all seasons of Fear behind.
I would like to start watching it at some point, but it's just a matter of getting the time to. It's on Hulu, so 3 seasons are on Hulu. So I do want to do it. It's just a matter of, again, finding the time to do it. Now that I don't watch The Walking Dead, maybe we can actually have something to do. But I also kind of want to start watching Westworld as well. I've heard that show's good.
Westworld is great. I can actually definitely attest that Westworld is an awesome show for sure. I haven't finished it.
Another season. It's coming back for another season starting tonight as we record this. Of course, yesterday, if you're hearing this on day of release. So we got some Walking Dead stuff to talk about. And, of course, we got Avengers Infinity War coming up this week. This Thursday night, Friday, whenever you're going to go see it. I assume that if you're listening to this show, you are going to go see it. And, of course, we've had the Road to Infinity War where we've had the big, epic, one-a-week reviews over on the Patreon at patreon.com/journeyintocomics, where you can go over there and check out all of the exclusive reviews for all of that. And it's all leading there because, guys, next week here on the show, we're going to be discussing and reviewing the Infinity War. However, we're planning a caveat, Nate. We're, for the first time, going to try and go spoiler-free on the first review here. And I mentioned this the other day to you because I definitely want to try and wait a week or two to let people get some people like a few weekends to go see this movie, because not everyone's going to be able to go on the first weekend. Not everybody wants to go the first weekend because everybody wants to, they don't want to fight the crowd, and I don't want people to go, well, I can't listen to JIC this week because they're going to spoil something big about the movie. We're going to try and get some people to come in and talk about it, and that's the caveat. You cannot spoil it. We're gonna keep it spoiler free for you on 189. Maybe subsequent episodes will do that. Maybe we'll tack on to our Road to Infinity War with an Infinity War Patreon thing where we finally go full bore exclusives over there. It just depends. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to tackle it.
Brilliant idea, bro.
I don't know because it all depends on how much time we have and how much we could dedicate to it, because we got some other stuff that we want to talk about leading up after Infinity War as well. There's the Deadpool movie. There's the Solo movie. Of course, we'll be talking about that over on Podcast Menace, so you can get over on our Patreon. Man, that's just all these plugs, man. All these plugs. Podcast Menace, the only podcast in our network 100% dedicated to Star Wars, featuring myself and Tyler McLaughlin of Podcastrophe. We are going to be recording a new episode here soon for April, so please be tuned out for that if you're on the $3 tier. Nate.
Yes, sir.
We were just talking about Infinity War, and this article went up on the good old 420.
Okay, I got one too, but you go first.
Yeah, so Sebastian Stan may have spoiled some cameos. We were talking about having no spoilers, but that's for next week. Damn it, this is not for this week, because these are spoilers, these are head scratchers, these are pinches of salt, if you will, because who knows, maybe he was just messing with people. However, he said, and the quote, there was one scene I think where we had like everybody was there. I can't really talk about that scene, but I knew it took them 3 months in planning this scene to have everyone there, because you look around and you just saw everyone from Samuel L. Jackson to Michael Douglas to Michelle Pfeiffer. Everyone was there.
Oh boy. That's interesting, because if it's the Wakanda scene, I don't know why Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer would be there. It makes more sense for, I mean, unless they're gonna that's a really weird thing, man. What is Hank Pym gonna don the Ant-Man suit for this movie? That would be crazy and unprecedented. I mean, he's still an old-ass man, but he probably still has it, right? At least kinda.
CGI.
Yeah, well, no, I meant theoretically Hank Pym's character, not actual Michael Douglas trying to do the stunts.
All you gotta do is get a stunt guy wearing a green mask.
Yep.
I mean, I hate to say it, but that's, hey, man, do what you got to do. I don't know, man. I don't know, because Pfeiffer doesn't debut until Ant-Man and the Wasp.
That's what they say. There was actually, interesting that we mentioned that there's another person that was supposed to debut in their own solo movie that might have been spoiled accidentally.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin is talking recently, and he is talking about seeing people on set similarly. Because the way Josh Brolin did it was a lot of his work when he wasn't on set was voice acting work, and he wasn't always there to work with people. So there are certain people he didn't actually work with, but he specifically brought up how grateful he was to work with Brie Larson. And it's like, Brie Larson, huh? So Captain Marvel's definitely in this movie, you say? Okay, well, I can't wait to see it now for sure.
And see, there was the rumor that her scene got cut from the movie.
And who knows if that's a lie. It's so crazy. It's like the Russos have created a false trust completely for this movie. You don't know what's real. You don't know what's fake. You don't know who to believe. You see the footage, and you can kind of be led to assume certain things may be happening or we're going down a certain path, but nothing is guaranteed. It seems that there's possible, I don't know if you saw this or not, Peter Dinklage's role might have been revealed kind of unintentionally. I don't know if you listened to the clip or anything.
No, but I remember talking to you about that just the other day. I brought that to your attention.
Yeah, so there's this fight sequence between Proxima Midnight, Corvus Glaive, Captain America, Black Widow, I think Scarlet Witch, and maybe Vision. I think it's that scene that we see where they're trying to take the Mind Stone from Vision. And Corvus Glaive speaks, and I'll be goddamned if it's not Peter Dinklage's voice. It has to be, you know. Now, here's the thing that's a little bit interesting and quirky and timey-wimey and weird about this, because, yeah, Peter Dinklage, he could be the voice of Corvus Glaive, and that totally makes sense. The thing that's strange is there have actually been set pictures released where he looked like Pip the Troll. Like, leaked set pics, right? Where he didn't fully look like Pip the Troll, but he had the hairstyle and stuff, and definitely could have been doing that. So, my question is, like, Do you think he's playing both?
I don't know. I mean, it's not the first time someone's played two roles in one movie with a voice and then like appearance and something else. I mean, I've always wondered if they were going to do anything like that for Vin Diesel. Let him have like a visual cameo in the movie, seeing as how he only says "I am Groot."
See, I still think that Marvel fucked up with Vin Diesel, because if I was Marvel, I would have made Vin Diesel Black Bolt, the character who does not speak at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then you have the dichotomy of the two, where Groot only can say certain things, Black Bolt can't speak or he'll explode shit. But, of course, they didn't go that route. So that's cool with Peter Dinklage. It'll be cool if he is Corvus Glaive. That's awesome. I don't know if you're aware of this or not. This was a really interesting stat that I just learned. According to data used by the Wall Street Journal, 45% of the participants that they gave this survey to more excited to see it than 33% of the participants, I could not get that word out for some reason, who were excited to see The Force Awakens, essentially meaning that the movie-goer interest, while it's a hard number to fully assign an absolute value to, it's all, substantiated opinions, it seems like Infinity War is going to outpace and be the largest box office all time.
It definitely could be. And then you wonder, once we get past this movie, and then we get looking over to the next one, because I've heard that this movie really warms your heart with all of the character interaction. You are very entertained by that. By seeing these characters who don't normally interact with each other, and then it rips it out of your chest.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course it will.
I see this movie as sort of the Empire Strikes Back of the MCU, if you will. I definitely think it's going to be that, because in order for there to be a two-parter, the good guys have got to lose.
And they have to lose in an epic way, man. Interesting thing to note with the movies, the directors, Joe and Anthony Russo, have come out and said that Infinity War and Part 4 are both completely one story separate from each other. Like, there's a start, a middle, and an ending to Infinity War. We're not going to be left with some bullshit cliffhanger like, wait till next year to see the great conclusion of... Like, it'll wrap with a bow. And then,
right, but whether or not that bow is a happy ending.
Exactly.
That's where you're going to find it. And that's where I'm glad that this is hopefully not a double sequel syndrome, which is something that I've spoken out about many times. I really don't like when movies do that, because there's always one that suffers. There's not really many franchises that have done double sequel syndrome and have not had one of them suffer.
But, man, I feel like the way they've planned and prepared this story and all the work that's gone into keeping spoilers free and all that stuff and fake scripts and all that shit, I feel like these guys are the masters of this universe. And with the amount of planning they've done and they decided to do back-to-back shoots, and I know that you're right, man. Another thing that happens is actors suffer from fatigue when you do a long, 6 months of movie filming with one set of characters, because you get lost in that character in a different way where it's not necessarily as fun and fresh as it was,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just looking forward to Infinity War, Brando. I mean, it only ends bad. Just so you know, there can't be I'm already reserving myself that there's a lot of sad coming in this movie. Like, a lot of darkness. And Thanos is going to be a righteous, vengeful motherfucker who... shit's about to pop off. Because, the MCU has remained unscathed. these Avengers who are just still barely learning to crawl with their powers, you know, even though they've been through a lot of shit together and apart, they've never fucking lost and fully lost, you know? Lost.
Yeah,
And-
well,
and-
no. I mean, you can almost say that in Civil War they lost because that they didn't. Like, like if you know what I mean, like that, like the whole movie was set up like when you have a hero on hero, there's always going to be a losing side. There's always going to be kind of like that movie ended with like a downward feel, kind of.
Yep.
But then it's going to be like coming into here, they all got to get back together. They got to, get past their differences, work together, and then death.
And then the train of our existence will show up.
I actually have my window open today, so I'm hearing kids, I'm hearing dogs, I'm hearing airplanes. I'm surprised I haven't heard sirens in a while. I live near a hospital, so it's actually relatively comfortable. And we are in late April, and it's finally comfortable. We have got past our third winter. I think it seems like we are now past the worst of it. We're not looking at any more snow. We actually had snow 1 week ago, Nate, down here.
Dude, it was supposed to snow on my birthday, legit. That's redonkulous. April 19th should not ever have the word snow in it. When I was born, Brandon, it was the hottest day of the year. Snow. Hottest day of the year. Snow. Global warming is not real. This message is brought to you by Journey into Comics Network. It is real. What the fuck?
So is that it for Avengers? Do you have anything else?
I do have this little article about Australians are upset. Do you know about this?
No.
Some Australians are calling for the cancellation of the premiere of Infinity War because, obviously, the way this drops, it's actually going to fall for globally, technically for the United States, even though it'll be the 26th over there. It'll be the 25th when the people will technically be seeing this in Australia, which happens to be a holiday called Anzac Day. It's a somber national holiday. I'm not sure what that holiday... Oh, Anzac Day is a national day of remembrance in Australia and New Zealand that commemorates all Australians and New Zealanders who have served and died in all wars and conflicts. It's essentially their like Veterans Day, right? Or Memorial Day even.
Yeah.
But this movie is coming out the same day, and that's pissing people off because businesses aren't permitted to open until 1 p.m. or later. Movie theaters are already scheduled to be open at 10 a.m., and many are finding this act to be disrespectful. My issue is not, this is somebody saying, the Australian Today Show entertainment editor Richard Wilkins says, my issue is not that Avengers is opening a day earlier. It is that cinemas are allowed to operate from 10 a.m. at all, when most other retailers are restricted to 1 p.m. So, damn. Lots of controversy with this movie, man.
Man, I mean, I'm not trying to sound insensitive, but it's like, why can't they just wait, was it 3 hours? Why can't the theaters wait 3 hours? And like that's basically one showing to open like afternoon,
Yeah, you're only getting one showing out of the deal.
Yeah, well, I mean, and you might have multiple screens, but I mean, come on, man. Like,
Come on, man.
I wouldn't call for the cancellation of the premiere. I would say, let's wait then, man. Let's wait. Let's
Compromise, bro.
Yeah, compromise. All right, guys, let's wait till 1 o'clock, and then we'll let it. Like, it'll be a big event, but yeah. So like, my issue would be with the theaters, definitely. Like, say, guys, come on.
Okay, and then last thing I have for Avengers to throw your way. I'm not sure if you saw this or not. Again, Russo brothers talking recently brought up the fact that it's not something any fan should be surprised at. Avengers 4, as it were, which will be the movie after Infinity War, will definitely be longer than Infinity War. So looking at 3 hours plus territory. And actually the Russos said that Marvel never ever gave them a mandate of whether or not they had a time restriction. If they wanted to make a 4-hour fucking movie, Marvel would have let them do that. Because that's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying?
Can you imagine having an intermission?
Oh my God, dude. I would be overwhelmed. But you know what's crazy? Actually, I learned this. Juhas works at AMC Theaters, so I actually know how movies get like sent to the theater now. Do you know about all this?
No.
So there's like a timed briefcase that they get. And the briefcase opens. And then the briefcase opens and they get a hard drive, right? With billions of bytes of data because 4K. And think about the size of a movie screen. 4K is huge, so think about the file size, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, though, it's got like some built-in street date where it doesn't do anything when it's plugged to the internet until the street date releases, and then they actually can access that data. So it's not like it used to be with the reel-to-reel. So I don't know if intermission would even be a thing other than to just give the crowd intermission.
Well, I mean, the films just like there have been intermission for these digital films for sure, but I mean, if you're gonna go see a 4-hour movie, you're gonna have to give them 10 minutes. You know, let people get up, go use the bathroom, come back. You know, go 2 hours intermission, another 2 hours, and then go. You know, I've actually heard that. See, and that makes me wonder. Is like then. I've heard that some theaters will let people work in there see the movie a little early. So I wonder how that necessarily works. I mean, maybe for a movie like of this size, maybe you're going to get that, but maybe not all movies have that kind of restriction.
I know the answer to that because the street date is 24 hours before the actual release of the movie. Okay. And essentially, as of now, it's only supposed to be the manager of whatever place that does a check. And the reason that you do the check is because if you download the movie the rest of the way, you press play and there's no sound, you got to download a patch. Or if you press play and there's sound and no visual, you got to call and get a patch. So that just gives you enough time to get your everything working, because what an epic fail it would be for the night of Infinity War to happen and for some shit like that to go down. You know what I'm saying?
No sound. Oh, man, people would be pissed.
People would riot, Brando. They would flip the fuck out. They would rip the shares out of the fucking theater.
I almost thought you said shares. Like,
yeah,
they would rip their shares up that they had. I'm ripping up all of my shares that I bought at the AMC chain right here, right now, right there. I have no more ownership of this place. I'm leaving peacefully.
See, Brando, and then when you said shares, I didn't think of shares. I thought of share.
Like the singer? Yeah. Oh, wow.
Like, do you believe in life after love? Whop! Whop! She's just screaming, no! Oh, shit. Anyways, even Robert Downey Jr. doesn't know if Iron Man's going to die, so maybe not. Who knows? That's all I have for Infinity War, Brando. I'm done there. Do you got any other Infinity War news to add to this, my bro?
No, man. No, I'm excited to go see the movie on Friday, either with the wife or by myself, it seems. So we're going to have to figure it out.
Hell yeah, man.
Anyway, so Nate, we had a really big event that happened to The Walking Dead on the show. We had the season finale, the end of All Out War, and for the show version of such storyline, that was last week. We didn't, of course, we didn't get a chance to talk about it because number one, it happened late Sunday night, and this show comes out Monday morning. But this is the first time you and me have actually had a chance to talk about it. Nate, what did you think of the season finale?
I believe they did a really good job for what they did. You know, life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. They don't have Carl. I think they make a great use of Carl's death being so important on how this thing ends. And that
it's the
made
catalyst
it for me.
they've changed the story, and instead of making Rick being all like having to turn a leaf, having him being like, I just want to make a better world now, and now they're like, they use the pivotal moment of Carl's death from the midseason to try and change it, and also to that same vein, what Negan felt about Carl as well, you know.
Absolutely.
And you know, there was a point where Negan probably, you know, he didn't want to kill Carl. He would have if he needed to, but absolutely not. He didn't want to. He's like, man, this kid's got guts. And I loved going towards the end. There's a few things that they changed. Of course, it was the catalyst that causes Rick to kind of go this different pattern, but also Nate, he also didn't get the Saviors to give up to save Negan. They just gave up. They're like, yeah, we're done.
Yeah, which I kind of liked that too, because it seemed, again, it made more sense. This thing played out like it made sense the whole time. You're just like, oh, this is going to be how it's going to be. And then even when Rick is chasing Negan in one scene and he shoots at him and misses and shoots on a glass window, right? I immediately knew where that would end. I was like, oh my God, that's so... Of course that would be on the ground. Of course that's how they're going to do it. It's not, you know, Negan breaking Rick's leg, which I get that kind of sucks that it didn't happen. But again, now you don't have to restrict Andy Lincoln to being a, you know, a someone who's walking with a limp or anything. You know, he can just be an actor as himself and not be limited to that physical limitation. You know, also faking walking like that can cause you to fucking walk like that. So, you know,
it can actually mess up your whole like body, where your body get used to like it gets used to it. And that's one reason why they didn't want the dude that played Herschel, when he lost his leg, he was walking on crutches. They didn't want to have a whole like next part of the season where he's walking on crutches. They're like, you know, let's make it easier for him. Let's just they found a what you call it, a prosthetic somewhere, you know, and it's like, oh, that's kind of that's kind of a shoe in. Yeah, you know, it is, but like
a shoe in, Brandon, a shoe in. The episode title is definitely a shoe in.
But it makes it easier on the dude. So, you know, like, I mean, look at this over here. I got this pop vinyl. I got this Herschel pop vinyl. And he's on crutches. And I don't know about you, Nate, but he just doesn't look all that happy.
He looks very sad, Herschel.
Yeah, he looks like a sad Herschel.
He's a very dead Herschel.
Yes.
So let's talk about it. Get into this episode here. There's a couple things I like. I like the role Dwight plays in this story. I like where Dwight's story resolves. I love Eugene's role in the story, and I was hoping that was going to be the resolution, because I've literally been fucking hating him since his capture. Like, you piece of shit, Eugene. You traitorous bitch. But, of course, he just was being a coward to survive and played it smart. I love the sabotage that's done. Also, I really loved the interaction towards the end of the episode with Morgan and Jadis.
Yeah. Anne. Yeah, she revealed her name. He got her to go. She's going back to see Rick and play a part in this new world. That's awesome. That means she'll be sticking around. I'm excited to see what role she plays and what role an artist can be. Hey, there's a private jet of my existence.
Private jet of your existence? Holy shit, I don't think I hear it.
No,
I will say there's one storyline that has still not been wrapped up that you had talked about last episode, like this season finale could also serve as a series finale.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, they didn't tie one bow up. Where in the motherfuck is Heath?
Yeah.
I'm so mad that Heath has just been MIA for this whole fucking story, Brando. Leads me to believe one of two things. Either he's going to play a role and have found himself in Commonwealth, and he'll be a tie-in. Maybe he's the guy that gets Eugene there instead of it being this new character, Stephanie. Or, alternately, a different way they could take this is that he comes back with news that there are walkers that are people.
Now, there was a rumor of, like, there towards the end, you saw Rick's group walking to where they were going to try and get the jump on Negan. And they see this big-ass herd. And it's one of the biggest they've ever seen. And it's kind of looking off into this distance where you have this beautiful landscape and then this big herd. And there's people going, oh, that was the Whisperers. And there's like saying, no, that wasn't the role. That wasn't we weren't trying to like plant seeds. We were just trying to show you, the audience, the meaning behind Rick's plan. It's like, here they are fighting each other in this war with people, and there's your common enemy. It's like this big-ass herd that could easily wipe all these guys out due to just being overwhelmed. And here these guys are, fighting and killing each other. Meanwhile, how are you going to, take on a herd like that or even survive a herd like that without numbers? You're not. So, apparently, we didn't get any sort of whisper or Easter egg or anything. Now, what this tells me, though, Nate, is that we are going to get a time jump, for sure.
Definitely.
Coming out of this. Because, I mean, if you've seen Jeffrey Dean Morgan's press appearances for Rampage, for the movie, he's sporting this big old beard. Of course, in the comics, when we see Negan again after so long, he's got a big old beard after being locked up. But they did this whole thing with they did the whole Eugene storyline where he sabotaged the bullets for all the saviors, and Rick's people came up, and a couple of them got killed. There were still some losses from the saviors. Negan hit the road. Rick chased him down, was shooting him. Of course, hit that glass that they've been teasing all season. They've been doing the shots with this glass with Rick, and it like reflecting this like the light in the Rick's eyes, right?
Yep.
And him and Negan go at it. Of course, Negan's kind of like the stronger of the two. Kind of does get the upper hand, and Rick tries to talk sense to him, right? It's like, Carl wanted this way, and we can do it. And Negan's like, F that, I'm going to kill you. And then Rick's just like, just hear me out. And Negan's like, you got 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8. And then Rick starts going on his diatribe. What I love is what really helps me sell this is that, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's portrayal of the Negan character is spot on. It's exactly the way I see it. Because then you see the look in his eyes when he's getting up there close to the point where, he was still counting down and Rick was saying what he was saying. And you just see, like, the confliction, the pain, wants it to be over. And then Rick slices his throat.
Ugh.
And then there is that look of, like, son of a bitch.
I will not place my finger on his throat. I will rip his head clean off.
I love that look when he's holding his throat.
Save him.
Well, I just love the Negan's like, this is it,
Yep, he's reserved to the fact that it's over and it's not. I gotta ask Brando, because this is a little different from the comics, because we got something in this that I'm unsure of how they're going to resolve, because I don't think she signed on for season 9, but there's dissension with Maggie.
Yeah, well, and of course, in the comics, she's very upset about Rick's decision as well. She's not happy.
But she doesn't go plan to betray him, as it seems like these three are doing. Conspirators.
I don't know if that's exactly where you would go in those terms. Because I've heard and I've read people going, "Oh my God, she's the next villain." I'm like, I don't know if I'd label it that. I don't think what they're wanting to do is to betray Carl or Michonne. I think they want to kill Negan, and they plan on doing that.
Which that ties back into what Maggie's plan is in the long haul, anyways.
Mm-hmm. But it just kind of shows you a different mindset about it. Maggie, Jesus, and then of course we see Daryl don't agree with Rick's decision to keep Negan alive and lock him up, and we are going to see that play out. I think that we were given this scene to set that up for the next. That's the big setup going forward. That's what takes us forward. Of course, we have also the fella from the sanctuary who stayed behind in Hilltop. He was saying, "Hey, I took a look at the schematics and I'm going to help build this stuff, like the windmill and all that stuff." So there's all of a sudden this dude who was just kind of hanging around, and people are like, what role is he going to play? That's his importance. He's like an engineer of some sorts. He's going to be the engineer of Hilltop. He's going to help make that place. His overall character may not become a big role in the show, but that's the importance of that character. He's going to help getting Hilltop to the next level. But when you have those three characters make that pact, them saying we will show them they're not saying it, we're going to show them by killing Rick, by killing Michonne. They don't want to do that. And much less Daryl, man. Daryl and Rick are tight. So
you're right.
I don't think that's the next step. I think the next step is finding a way to kill Negan. And then that's going to go into the next story. Of course, we're going to have the time jump. So it's not like they're going to, the day after the War with the Saviors, they're going to be working to get into Alexandria to kill Negan. This is, like she said, we're going to bide our time. We're going to wait this out, and when we get a chance, it's going to happen. So we may see, since Carl's not around to go down there and talk to him, and all this kind of stuff, I think there's gonna when you're gonna have the Whisperers coming around, I think there's gonna be some dissension between Maggie's group and Rick's group, and then there's this Whisperer thing, and they need to work together. But then there's that Negan thing in the background. And then Negan gets out. And maybe for this part of the story, maybe you have Daryl the Hunter trying to track down Negan when he's out.
Ooh.
Maybe he knows, maybe they know, and this is our chance. This is our chance, we go get him.
You know what thing about the Whisperers bothers me? The possibility.
Huh.
Well, you think about it, how are they going to make it matter if Alpha's daughter doesn't take interest with Carl? You know what I'm saying? How can Lydia take interest in Carl if he's not fucking there? Who's she going to fall for that's going to make this? Because that's the only reason the Whisperers even fuck with Rick's group is because of Carl and company.
Well, not at first. It's about boundaries at first, remember?
Oh, that's true.
Comes back around later with the whole Carl and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, at first, you get Rosita, Ezekiel, and a few others heads on spikes. So that's where it ends up. Which I can't wait to see what characters they kill off in that fashion.
Ooh.
If it still is Ezekiel, if it still is Rosita, maybe it's Tara out of the blue. She's become a big character in the show over the last couple of seasons.
Impactful would be Daryl.
Oh, dude, Daryl would be pissed.
No.
And
Daryl's head.
No. I'm not going to kill Daryl yet. But Tara's head up there, boom, gets Daryl pissed off. Ezekiel's head up there, boom, gets Carol pissed off. Rosita's head, boom, gets Eugene pissed off.
Yeah.
And then you start going into the next level of Eugene's character, where here he was this coward to the entire all-out war thing, where he hung his head and helped the enemy, and then here he is in this next story where he wants to take up arms and go, because now Abraham's dead, Rosita's dead, his crew, who protected him, and they're gone, and now here he is and that doesn't sit right with him. So then you're given reason across the board with these characters want to stand up, and then you have Rick who's trying to be like, no man, you just can't go off fighting another group, you know. And then Negan's down there going, God damn, will you go out there and show these guys how to lead? You become a pussy.
Yeah, for real. Oh man.
But then just imagine how, like, if Daryl gets back and tells Maggie that Negan killed Alpha and brought the head back to Rick, if they find out about that. Because, oh man, and seeing comments, there's so many people going, oh, that's so stupid, they should have killed Negan. Oh, now he's just going to escape. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, he is. But it's awesome, though, because, like, they're so not seeing the next evolution of this character. They're not they're not seeing that. They're seeing him, and it's difficult in a visual form because you saw, and they made it so graphic, of the death of Abraham and Glenn. That's one of the most uncomfortable scenes to watch in the entire show.
Yep.
And it has to be, because this character is going to get a redemption of sorts. He is going to come around. He's going to try to be the good guy, and everyone's going to hate him for it. And they're wondering what his game is, just like we were when we read the comics. You know, every issue we're like, what's his game? What's he doing? Why did he just sit there in the cell with the door open? Is he playing mind games? We're all just thinking he has this big, overarching, like, idea of how he's going to fuck with Rick and how he's going to get back at him. And
hope he's going to take off.
And that was never his game. And that was just so awesome to see that play out. And I can't wait to see it play out in the upcoming season. Of course, they got picked up for season 9. However, Nate, ratings weren't so good, man.
No, lowest since season 1.
So the finales for all for all the finales for the ratings, yeah, dude, season 1 is the lowest because it was season 1. But so when they come in to episode 1 of this season, right? They had 11 million people watching with a 5.0 share. So you had, like 5% of televisions that were on Sunday night watching The Walking Dead. It ended, so yeah, you had 11.44 million. It ended with 7.9 million with a 3.4 share.
Damn.
Now, I saw somewhere that had all the finales. This article doesn't have it, which really pisses me off because you see like the height of the popularity of the show. Like it grew and it got to season 5 and it was the highest. And when we've been falling ever since. I definitely think we are past the glory days of this show.
I think this show is at a point now where you get kind of on a train for a while where you're riding in your best days, and they made a couple critical errors that really pissed people off, and I think that's where they bucked people. I think that the graphicness of Glenn's death affected some people and made them turn their TVs off. I feel like the death of Carl might have affected some people. I mean, there's a lot of different little factors that you could say are why the numbers are so low. And ultimately, it's a show in its 8th season. Mm-hmm. I mean, Dexter wasn't pulling down the rave ratings it was in the early seasons when it was in season 8.
No.
It was, and then it turned out the worst finale in TV history, most likely, Lumberjack fucking Dexter.
Now, the series has hit an all-time, like it started going low, right? It started going low around the introduction of Negan.
Yeah.
Granted, that whole season after, there is a lot of story stuff that happens that season, but there's only a few big action moments that happened during that season. This season was all action. It was like from the get-go. For the first like 3 or 4 episodes, just nothing but gunfight. And for better or worse. It's almost like last season did all the story stuff to really get up to this point, and now we're in the fight, And so at the loss of Carl, episode 8. Episode 8 brings in 7.9 million people at a 3.4 share. Wait, did I say yeah? And episode 9, which was mid-season premiere, brings in 8.3 million with a 3.6 share. And the next week it went down to a 2.9, 2.8, 2.83, 3.0. It basically season 1, the finale had 5.9 million people tune in. So we're not. I mean, we're starting to go down, because a couple years ago, The Walking Dead was averaging almost 14 million live viewers per episode.
Shit.
And now we have dropped, and from the beginning it was 11, and then 8, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7, 6, 6, 7. So we have now halved our audience since season 5. I definitely think we are nearing the end of this series, and I think they need to be thinking about that. I know they're making motions to try and get the series and the kind of feel and motion that it was when it was at its highest. I still think that you don't, even though the comic is still going and it's going to be going for quite a while, I don't like to see a show all of a sudden not get picked up. Because what if we get through next year and that's Whisperer War and they don't pick it up for season 10? And then we're like, they have to wrap it up so fast. I hate that. I hate that, because you don't get stuff wrapped up the way you want it to. You don't get the kind of closure. Just recently we found out that Ash versus the Evil Dead got canceled, and their show was already filmed and done. Their series finale airs in like a week.
That's crazy to me.
And they just got announced the other day that they were canceled, so they didn't even have time to set through and set in motion, all right, let's try and give this, let's get another season, and this is how we're going to wrap up the story. I would hope that since this show has made AMC a buttload of money, that they are just going to let them ride this thing out. Because, Nate, the ending date may have been revealed.
Go on. Please do tell.
This is from our friends at comicbook.com. The end of The Walking Dead may have been revealed in permits, which requested 3 more years of life in Sonoya, Georgia. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Probably just butchered it. In requesting a permit to build a massive 55-foot windmill, the production team behind the AMC series asked it to be permitted to stand for 3 years. Furthermore, the team has permits which has allowed them to shut down the streets of surrounding Alexandria set in Sonoya, Georgia, which expire in 2019. Those permits have been submitted for renewal, requesting an extension to match the 3-year term of the windmill. Location manager Mike Riley asked the city council for permission to build a 55-foot windmill on the Alexandria site located at the Gin Property Development in downtown, and to keep it there for 3 years. The stalwart film, the production company for The Walking Dead, has a permit for the closure of Morgan Street and the corrugated metal. Is that how you say that?
Yep, corrugated.
Wow, I don't think I've ever said that word out loud. Around the Alexandria site, which expires at the end of 2019. Riley asked that those permits be extended to match the 3 years for the permit for the windmill. This could be the indication that they plan on, pack it up after season 11. However, this would also be inaccurate given several details of variables. First of all, there is no guarantee the AMC set will remain in Alexandria as the comic book series has. Furthermore, there may be limitations on the permit, as a 3-year request could be the maximum under the jurisdiction of the city limits. And the uncertain future, with an uncertain future, there could also be a business aspect to request, meaning that simply the team could wait for a season 12 or beyond to be guaranteed before they spend any more money on further permits. Currently, The Walking Dead is charging toward a fresh start, of course, which this whole past season has led to a new story, as well as Angela Kang being the new showrunner, replacing Scott Gimple as he's now the overlord of the Dead universe. Basically,
Overlord of death.
yeah. Let's see here. I'm trying to see. Andrew Lincoln tells comicbook.com that he's quite excited. I'm very excited about Angela's tenure. She pitched the first 8 a couple of weeks ago, and I think we're getting the first episode today. There's a renewed vigor, vitality, energy, just a vision that's happening that's reminiscent, and certainly more for me, of the pilot episode. There's a lot of things in there that I could kind of dig what she's looking into. The things that I loved about the pilot episode, there's a few ideas in there that she's expanding and running with, which is very exciting. Production starts on season 9 on April 30th.
Oh, so very soon here. 8 days. 7 days. A week from today.
Yes. So, like, they're going to be kicking up and get going, and then they'll probably wrap up the first half of the season around July. Because I think that's how they do it. They film from like May and June to July, because they usually have like most of the filming for the first half done by San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, so they can drop little teaser clips.
Yeah, sure. And then after Comic-Con, I think in August or something, they go back, and from August, September, maybe even October to finish up. Either finish up with any reshoots they need to do for first half, and then finish off the last half of the series.
Damn. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what comes from the future of The Walking Dead, Brando.
Well, now we could also have crossovers, even more so than what we had with Morgan going over to the Fear set, because the Morgan that went over there, I want to say it's not a past Morgan, it's a current time Morgan, so they had a time jump.
Yeah, Fear caught up to the Walking Dead timeline, right? Because this Morgan is the Morgan that left after this shit.
I think so. And because I'm behind, so I haven't watched it. But yes, they didn't do it the way I thought they were going to do it. But now, like, in a weird kind of way, like, they could actually just have the two shows merge at some point.
Ooh.
But then there's this other article that talked about basically Walking Dead might test the waters for like to do a spin-off movie of some sorts. Basically with Gimple going into Chief Content Officer. He's basically in charge of the entire Dead universe and possible expansions that might come with it. They might be actually seeking out to do a movie. There's of course, for the finale. And for the finale, and then for the Fear premiere, they actually did that in theaters, for like select locations, doing a Fathom event, which I wanted to go to, didn't get a chance to, which would have been cool to see that on the big screen. But apparently, there were theaters that were sold out across the country, so pretty cool. There's also rumors, not listed in this article straight on, but about them doing a Daryl prequel, about like. Basically, almost kind of like what we did, or what they did over in that video game.
Ah, yeah,
but maybe Survival Instinct or whatever.
Survival Instinct, yeah.
But maybe they'll actually do something more with that. So you get Michael Rooker to come back in to play Merle, and do all that stuff. That would be kind of neat. I almost kind of feel like the ship has sailed with this Daryl character. He's not as interesting as he used to be. Maybe and hopefully you could have this new story with him sort of like colluding with Maggie and Jesus against Rick and wanting to kill Negan. Maybe that will liven up the character a little bit more.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the character's kind of become boring. The last cool thing they did with him that I liked is when they really made him deal with the death of Glenn and how he's at fault with that, but they haven't done anything with it since. And they just he's kind of been there, and sometimes he doesn't even talk. They're pointing his crossbow.
You right.
Yeah, you right.
You're right.
So we
God
swear.
Damn it. Okay, well...
Okay, there's something I want to touch on. So Daryl drives Dwight off away from everybody, and Dwight kind of thinks this is it. All right, he's gonna put an arrow in my head. He's gonna kill me. And again, he kind of apologizes for what he did to Denise. He says, "I know what I did, and I can't take it back. You know, I'm a piece of shit. I know I am." But then again, he's almost he kind of says that he's ready for it, and then he's all like, "But please don't, please, God, There, all of a sudden, there it is, He was standing up like, yes, I'm going to die, and then all of a sudden, when that moment hits, he's like, okay, no, wait, I don't want to die. And then he's kind of pleading, and that's when Daryl throws in the keys. Says, leave, get out of here. You come around here again, I'll kill you myself. And Dwight takes off. And goes to his old house, if I do remember. That's like their old place.
That's where Daryl first met them.
Well, it was near there.
Near where Daryl first met them. Back in season 5.
Well, there was that episode where Dwight ran off to go find her, went there, and left a note for her with like a 6-pack. And then when he goes back there, there's a note for him with a couple of those beers gone. Or maybe they're all gone. But then you don't get to see what was said on the note. You just see like he kind of smiles. So she's still out there.
Yep.
Pretty interesting. I can't wait to see what's more for him because obviously he's going to be in a different role than what he is in the comics. He's not a welcome. He's not a person who's going to be necessarily welcome, but maybe he's going to be somebody who's kind of runs across the whispers before anybody else and tries to tell everybody, and they're just like, "Go get out of here! I told you I was going to kill you myself." Wait, Daryl, listen to what he has to say. Their walkers are talking, man. He's fucking crazy, man. Okay, well, I've never heard a walker talk. What did it sound like? It sounded like it was from around here, or that maybe had traveled a long way.
and then of course Dwight just looks him dead ass in the face and just goes, I thought he sounded Canadian, but I mean that's what kind of gave it away, eh?
Just
when the zombies weren't going, he was going, hey.
All in all, I really like the wrap up of this. I like the stuff with Negan because, and it, maybe if I wasn't reading the comics, maybe I wouldn't be as excited because I think it's part of why I am excited. Is because I know where the character development goes for Negan, and they seem to be on that track. So far they haven't of all the stuff they've deviated, they haven't deviated from that character's track yet. So I'm excited to see what they do.
Me too, man. I can't wait for the future of the Walking Dead comic and otherwise. And of course, next time people hear us, we'll be inching ever closer to a new issue of The Walking Dead to review. I can't wait. I'm so excited. As we wrap up the New World Order story. Brando, I do have a little article that's totally left field, back to some Marvel news, but not Marvel MCU news. This is Fox Marvel news. There's a lot of uncertainty surrounding the Fox X-Men movie franchise right now. Deadpool 2 looks to be doing good, opening up the universe in a big way, possibly introducing the X-Force, However, New Mutants and Dark Phoenix were delayed until 2019. Disney's acquisition of 20th Century Fox continues to be worked out, which would shift all those characters to the MCU. So here's maybe a part of the reason why things got moved, and I'll share a little bit of my opinion on this. X-Men Dark Phoenix will be the last proper Fox X-Men movie. Presumably also the last in continuity. The crew behind the camera has been thanked for their work, but their services will not be needed any longer as everything is moving to Disney. Apparently the X-Men being integrated into the Marvel Cinematic Universe is a done deal and merely awaiting the approval of the merger. Kevin Feige is hovering up all of the Fox Marvel characters and is already planning for them to go into Phase 4. This includes X-Men, Deadpool, and the Fantastic Four. Of course, in what capacity and with what actors was not discussed. So if that pans out, what will happen? Will there be a continuity switchover? Will we keep characters? Will we not? I'm unsure. One thing I think this says for sure, Brando, and I wanted to touch on this, I think the reason that they pushed this shit to 2019 more than anything else, they were going to make less money if this movie came out this year. X-Men Dark Phoenix comes out this year, and it's not, the merger isn't officially done deal, and it's still kind of this lingering thing. Now, if X-Men Dark Phoenix is it, and the merger happens before this movie comes out, go see the last Marvel Fox movie ever, and it'll get people hyped. Like, this is the end of the X-Men stories from 2000, 19 years of storytelling, which is another crazy number to think about. You want to talk about continuity and cinematic universes. X-Men did it first in a lot of ways. Of course, Kevin Feige was a part of that. So I just think that them pushing this is more of a money thing, help pad their fourth quarter or whenever it's coming out.
Yeah. Well, it also is going to be exciting because I know Feige's jumping at the bit. And I know that them trying to hammer the stuff down, he's looking at Phase 4 and what they're going to be doing. Because he's looking at the Infinity War and Avengers 4 to be like the stopgap. Like, this is where all stories before it have come, and they end here, and now we go forward. And the X-Men, Fantastic Four, Deadpool are going to be a key part in going forward into that next role when they start possibly losing actors who they've had for the last 10 years. When you've had Robert Downey, Chris Evans, all these guys that are saying that they're kind of wrapping it up. Chris Evans says that he's done after Avengers 4. Man, I'm kind of done. I've played the character. It's been awesome, but what else, what else can I lend to it at this point? Which it's going to be cool because then he's going to be gone, but then it won't. The impact will be less because you're still going to have Cumberbatch around. You're still going to have Tom Holland around. You're still going to have possibly even Hemsworth around. So you're still going to be like. And it possibly it all depends. Is like maybe Tony Stark won't die. Maybe he'll just kind of take a backseat role and come in only for like special occasions or something.
Oh, it'd be kind of cool, and I could totally see happening. Tony creates like a tech division. He stops being an Avenger that fights, and he starts being their tech, and invites Shuri to help him because she's like this super mind from Wakanda. He's like, why don't you just come and work with me and we'll tech all these guys out? And then you have a division of people that make your supers even more super. That's fucking cool, Or
but then
alternately... Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we also have another set of something to look forward to. And who are they going to cast? What version of these X-Men characters are we going to get? Who we're getting a whole new characters. And the thing is that you could still just bring the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool in as being the one dude who's just standing off and away from everybody, and people are like, what are you doing here? And he can make up some bullshit excuse.
And it's perfect.
Yeah, no, and you don't even have to tie it up into a bow and make it sound like legit and do a cohesive story. He could just be there. And then, of course, in a PG-13 role, you could have him, again, chomping at the bit to say that, that expletive that, other characters have been, he's like, Every time he gets close, he's like, wait, hold on, forgot what movie I'm in. Sorry.
Oh, shh. Language.
Yeah.
Also, I could see Tony being AI if he does die.
Yeah, that's
maybe for Peter's suit.
I'm thinking for the next Iron Man, especially if you bring her in to be Iron Woman.
Who?
You said her name, Shuri.
Oh, Shuri, Black Panther's sister. She's going to inevitably be Black Panther at some point.
I know, but you can make her Iron Woman.
And that'd be cool, actually. That's actually interesting.
And then there's Tony still there, in her head, as Jarvis.
Hey, kid.
And she's like, well, she's all he's all saying stuff, and she goes, no, that's not what you would do. No. He goes, kid, don't test me.
I would be into that, actually. Make her the next Iron Man. I'm into it. Fuck it. As long as Jane Foster doesn't become our next Thor and we don't get Natalie Portman as Thor, I'll be fine.
Well, they kind of had a mutual dumping, so.
It was a mutual dumping. She didn't
man.
dump me. It was mutual dumping. Anyways, Brando, I don't know if I have anything else to really throw your way. There was another Deadpool trailer. I don't know if you saw it. There was a fuck ton of stuff that went on in the movie. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Juggernaut is supposed to be the main baddie of the movie. Yeah, right. And it's supposed to be a big Colossus versus Juggernaut scene in the movie that blows people away. And another thing about Deadpool, it will actually be acknowledging Infinity War and Solo, a Star Wars story.
Mm-hmm. He even took a dig at the DC.
God, you're so dark. Are you sure you aren't from the DCU? Like, I love it. I love Ryan Reynolds. I love that character. I love that they're ballsy enough and cheeky enough to enter and say those things and to just have that dialogue and to run with it. Also interesting to note that some of the dialogue that's in the trailer will not at all be featured in the movie, spoiler alert. I don't know if you know this, but they do that in movies sometimes where they put fake footage or footage that didn't end up making the film or gets changed or whatever. But apparently some people did not know this, and this is a report that they had to bring out on the interwebs. Can you catch my sarcasm at all?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, absolutely. I'm pretty sure we've actually talked about that in the past before.
Yeah, for sure. Your disdain for that in Suicide Squad. Brando, do you want to send us home with some where people can check all our shibs out and stuff? And
well, you know what? We are all over the interwebs. Did you know this, Nate? We are on podcast services across the globe, including iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, and of course over at journeytocomics.com. You can check out all the shows there. We're also on Patreon. You can check out us like over there, patreon.com/journeytocomics, where you get all the shows early access as soon as they're done, as soon as they're edited, they're up there for all of our early access tier. That's only $1, guys. And then for $3 you get awesome content like the Road to Infinity War reviews, as well as brand new shows such as the Podcast Menace, and more shows to come down the line over there as well. Of course, we're on Facebook at Journey to Comics Network and JIC, Journey Comics Podcast. There's 2 different pages, so you can check us both out. JIC Network on Twitter and Instagram. Is it Journey to Comics there as well?
On Instagram, we're Journey into Comics for sure. Yep.
Yeah. Well, there's so much stuff, and each podcast has like its own accounts. It's hard to keep track of. But yeah, go check us out on all that stuff. And follow us, and that way you never miss an episode. Of course, you can subscribe on your favorite service to make sure that you never, ever miss out on this show or any of the other great shows here on the network.
We're nearing 500 followers on Podbean. We're like 6 away. Can I just say, if you're the 500th person to subscribe, message us on Facebook. I want to send some shit to you. I don't know what that is yet, and I don't know if it's going to actually work out that way, but maybe. Maybe that will happen. Let's hope.
Nice.
I don't think I have anything else, Brando. It's been an awesome show. This has been Journey into Comics 188. On the right foot? What did you say? If the shoe fits.
It's a shoe-in.
A shoe-in, a shoe-in. A shoe-in, the shoe fits, the right foot. I was close. I was getting there. So anyways, folks, this was Journey into Comics 188. A shoe-in. I've been Nate.
I've been Brando.
As always, do us a favor. Take off your ball caps. Turn off all cell phones. Chop your brains open and fill them brains with shit. Later.